What is the state of the running backs with the Dallas Cowboys? We're getting ready to talk about it. Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Let's go. We just dealt with obviously the state of the offensive line. I gave my opinions on that. Hopefully y'all like that. We have that link in the description. We also gonna have, as we do these, every one of the unit breakdowns, we're gonna have them also in the description as well. So as we build on each unit, you'll get a chance to watch each one, and we intentionally made these shorter, that way we can get through them and you can get through them and go about your day. But obviously we want to talk about Ezekiel Elliot and Pollard, because we're dealing with the state of the running backs right now. And obviously when they get going, they really help the entire team. They help the defense because you can keep that defense rested, which helps that pass rush. That pass rush then dominoes to your ball guys like Diggs, like obviously Jordan Lewis and the other guys that have a tendency to get the ball. Even Malik Hooker, if it's in his vicinity, he can pick that thing off. But the running game is the stabilizer to the Dallas Cowboys, and is very important. So we obviously want to start with first Coach Pete, because I first got to say I didn't have a good feeling when they hired him. He had the feeling to me of retread, and I didn't like how the unit played last year. And I'm always consistent on how I judge coaches. I say you judge coaches by the group. And so when Zeke was fumbling last year, and also Pollard had some fumbling issues last year, I had to look at Coach Pete. So, and to me, he was giving me a vibe of babying the guys, right? So I never really was feeling him, but those guys have played good. And not only those guys, every one of the running backs have played good. So I gladly ate my crow, and I've already publicly did that. But obviously I want to say that he's doing a good job. But when we looking at, Zeke and Pollard, so obviously it's a lot going on with the running game, and you're going to see a lot of fake media going on when it especially comes to Zeke. He's our bell cow. He's our first round guy. He's the marketing guy. So he's the guy you can get clicks on real quick. And they've already started the campaign. You seeing stuff going around saying stuff like he hasn't ran for over 50 yards since October, something like that. It's some kind of click thing going around like that. But it leaves off the context that he got hit on that knee during the Denver game and has been playing through a knee issue and been getting better every game. But they leave that context out because he's a media magnet, and people gonna always skew stats to try to get controversy, because the controversies go then get clicks. It's a game. It's just how it works. I'm gonna give you a good example of it. My boy Wedge Buster, shout out to you on Twitter. He screenshotted the Ezekiel Elliot rush thing that they showed on the game Sunday. I'll find the game. And they, when you look at this, they say career rushing yards per game. And when you look at this, it looked like he's falling off a cliff, because that's what they want the narrative to look like from that bar graph, right? But I saw right through it, and I said another bar graph with run attempts would complete the context and the cause to effect. Okay, and I'm gonna show you. It's real easy. I'm gonna go right to it. Like it's real easy to see. Like all we got to do is go look at the attempts right here. Okay. So when you look at the attempts, oops, I put them in order. I didn't mean to do that. All right, there we go. Got it back right. So when you look at his attempts, right, he got way more attempts as a rookie. And his average was good, 5.1. But that explains why you're going to see yardage per game go down. It's real simple. It's like real simple stuff. In 2017, remember, that's the year he was suspended. And just put it like this in context, even in missing 6 games, he barely got 2 attempts more than when he missed 6 games in 2017 from that bogus suspension. So that really explains it, because you can see his attempts every year has been pretty much going down, especially after he got paid, and especially after Kellen Moore took over. Because when Kellen Moore took over, Kellen Moore does not run the ball like Scott Linehan did. That's a totally, we're a different offense now. So his attempts are down. So your attempts go down, so is your yards per game. And they're not going to explain that. They're not going to explain that he's also sharing the load more with another running back. Because remember, McFadden used to get in on the 3rd series. Now they do a good job of splitting those attempts. So, you know, when it comes down to getting ready for the playoffs, the most important thing is that we really truly have thunder and lightning. Okay, when you're dealing with Zeke, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with both thunder and lightning. So these guys complement each other, but people try to divide us and make it think it needs to be one over the other, you know. And it's a real simple concept. But going back into the state, so with the state of our running backs, the good news is our guys are getting healthy. And so especially Pollard, you know, he was able to get a lot of rest, and we were still able to maintain our wins up into Arizona. You know, so going into the playoffs, our guys are definitely rested. And you can clearly see, which I'm super happy to see, that there's a big difference when Zeke is healthy versus when Zeke is not healthy. Now, people not going to say that in full context in the offseason. That's also why I'm happy that he also got 1,000 yards. Going back to this, I'm so happy that he got 1,000 yards, because that's a very important benchmark. Because if he would have did anything under 1,000 yards, he would have been a media target the whole offseason. And they never would have mentioned that he played through major pain and a knee issue. Like he was limping for this team, but they wasn't going to mention that. But he needed to get that, so they can't control a narrative and try to spin it to say, like they tried to do in this graph, to try to say he's falling off. It's false. I mean, his averages are pretty much about the same, you know, and you getting your money's worth. That's what you pay for. That's what you getting. So anyway, there is a big difference though. If you look at Zeke, obviously, when he didn't get hit on that knee, and the good news is Zeke, you can see that jump cut. You can see he was a lot more explosive when he was healthy. I mean, it's very clear and very easy to see. Okay, so the good news as we talk about the state of the running backs as we getting ready to go into the playoffs, Zeke has been getting more and more like this every week. Every week he played, the more and more you can sense that knee. You can see him healing before our eyes. Like that hesitation, he was very patient, but he was explosive. Now, is he more explosive than Pollard? No. But yeah, he's explosive and he could hit the corners, but he adds another dimension because he can hit the corners and he add power. Versus Pollard don't have as much power. So that's why I call him thunder and lightning. But when Zeke is like this is a super weapon against any team. Plus, he's a true three-down back. So he can block as well as catch. And he don't give away your offense when you take him in and out. You can keep him in the game and keep your defense guessing because you can use them multiple ways. So, but it's a big difference. So then when you look at Zeke, obviously I want to show Zeke fresh. When you see Zeke, you know, with that knee brace, yeah, he's a hammer, but he wasn't as elusive. But looking at him week 17, you can see that he's getting it back. He does look like he need about one more week, and we should get at least 90% of Zeke back. And 90% of Zeke, that's good enough. That's good enough. So, basically, the thing is, when you're dealing with Zeke and Pollard, they are the bell cows to the team. They are who Kellen Moore should aggressively lean on. It takes a lot of pressure off Dak. It allows him to get in a rhythm. It establishes, obviously, play action even better. It opens up the middle of the field for throws. It's so much. It's physical. It wears down the defense. When you can run the ball effectively, just think about what happened with Bosa. When we was playing against Bosa, one of the key things that we did that I said we should do, and we end up doing, is I said we needed to run right at Bosa to take away his pass rush. Because when you bullying guys and you beating on guys and you laying on guys, they don't want to get off with the same shotgun urgency as if when they know you passing. It keeps them honest. So that's the power of the running game, because a lot of people try to diminish the physical part of the running game and the actual pain that comes from Zeke running into you. And those offensive linemen, they also obviously like to run block, because then they get to be the aggressors. And that's really, especially with Tyron Smith, I'm going to be honest with you. I think one of the best things to do with Tyron Smith to get him going, I think you need to establish the run. You need to establish the run and be intentional about it. You know, obviously we want to be in balance, but I think with this offensive line, and it's been struggling, especially when it's the original unit, the original starters, when you put them in there together, they have not been have not been running the ball well, because to me they come out a little bit off balance. So I think you need to, I already said this on the last film, first you should start still, in my opinion, but then definitely commit to running the ball regardless, because you got to get these guys going. Don't make them dancing birds early. Make them the aggressors, especially going into San Fran. But going back to the state of the running backs, just to sum it up, I would say this, that our running game, we're fortunate because Mike McCarthy, in my opinion, has done a great job of load managing all the guys, both Zeke and Pollard. I think it was risky how he played his game. Honestly, I wish he would have leaned on those young guys a lot earlier to rest them guys. But we all knew Zeke was on the campaign for 1,000. He knew that he had to get 1,000 to kind of keep the wolves off of him if he wanted to stay in Dallas, because they was going to try to run him out if he didn't at least get 1,000 yards, because 1,000 yards is going to be the benchmark. That's just generally the benchmark of what a lot of people are going to use as a successful running back. So he had to hit it in his own mind. But I really wish they would have used the younger guys and gave them more low managed. But this is the good news. Even though it was risky with the game that Mike McCarthy played, it was successful because these guys are coming into the playoffs healthy. So with these guys healthy, we getting ready, and we should have a lot of success on the ground. And I would expect to see the trend of Zeke getting better and better every game. So obviously, if you like the content, make sure you like and share and subscribe to Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters, where you're going to be able to get this type of content. Also, keep in mind, we're going to have all these videos coming out at least 3 times a day. All right, so this is the second video, and we have the links to the videos in the description. Y'all stay out for a fire one that's coming. We're going to be talking about the state of the receivers also today. It'll be another short video, but with all of these cut up, you can kind of watch them at your leisure. and it's not gonna take too much time to kind of get the ideal of everything coming together. And then I'm gonna sum it up once we go through the whole units. And then also we got the tight ends coming as well. So we go talk about everything getting into the playoffs, so that everybody can have a good idea where we stand, the strengths and weaknesses of each, and how we can possibly improve, and what's going to be the strategic matchups. We go especially get into that when we talk about the tight ends. But y'all look out for more and more content at Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Stay up. Peace.